So I really want you to win. And I think that you're, like I said, you are exactly the kind of person that should be in running our government, because that's one thing I've been trying to explain to people about, like Kansas House people, right? Yeah, there's 125 of them, but their votes impact the entire state. And
Yes.
when they're so wrapped up in get the next election and pleasing their voters in their district and not thinking about how their vote's going to impact people outside of their district, good or bad, right? Something could be super good. I can't think about it right now, but an example, I would say maybe even like the greater good, like a data center, right? Might be good for their little area, but really impact this area over here that doesn't want it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so they I just think that it's a problem as a whole, as a society, sometimes in some places, for them to think about that greater good. Think about the people that are going to be impacted by this when they're not impacted by it, right? Until something happens to them, they don't seem to care about it.
And that's the problem with our lawmakers. We need more people that have just been everyday people, not lifetime politicians or people who have been millionaires, been in Nepo babies, things like that. We need people who are willing to do the work and reach out not just to these big corporations and hotshot names. We need people that will do what I've seen a lot of young candidates doing across the state, across the nation, which is door knocking on 100-degree days, independently doing their marketing and voter outreach. I know out of the thousands of texts and calls my campaign has made, maybe 10 of them was not me. So that's it's hard work, but that's what we need. It's not we're supposed to prove ourselves to the voters. They don't owe us anything.
You need to
We're supposed to prove it to
earn their
them.
vote. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you were talking about before, about earning the vote, about liking the primary, because now if you win, you know that you won because you won.
Yes.
If you would have made it through this whole thing never with opposition, everyone would have been like, "You never had any
You
opposition."
didn't earn it. Yeah. I want people to understand that I'm not doing this because I'm Taylor Moreland or because I just, oh, it's a title to get. It was real life experiences that made me jump up and say, I hate these freaking laws. Why are these people not? And then you get to looking in their backgrounds and you're like, none of these people represent me or have walked in even a relative journey as I have. So I don't want that. I want people I can call and feel like I'm talking to another person, not I have to be prim and proper and fancy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, decorum. Dear sir,
Yeah,
I would like to request that you not destroy my tent. I really
yeah,
have nowhere else to go. Thank you so much.
yeah. I never want people to feel like that with me. I
Yeah.
love, as weird as it sounds, I love when I'm talking to a voter and they cuss. They're like, this effing pisses me off. I want
Yeah.
people to be comfortable enough to say that because that's what I would want to tell a lawmaker if they were giving me all this fancy talk. I'm like, I don't effing know what you're saying. Relate to me. Be a person, not a robot. So I never, this may sound completely ignorant. I never realized how much our small farms and ranches are struggling. We look around Kansas and we have the produce, we have this and that, but it's not coming from the places it should. But it's not coming. Yeah, I don't feel like it's. We should look around and say, "I'm so proud. This came from a farm, a city away from me." What I like is being able, like our kids here, through at least USD 503. I know for sure the lunches and things they have. A good part of them come from directly from farms and ranches here and in Kansas. It would be even cooler to see that be more of a regular thing. I don't want to say requirement because we all know lawmakers love to make requirements and not give us resources
Mhm.
to enact those requirements. But eventually, maybe it could be. And our local schools are fed by our local farms and ranches. And I don't think that dream is as unobtainable as it may feel
Yeah.
for a lot of rural farmers and things right now. From the
It's
outside looking in, it seems simple. And I think it's not going to be simple, but I think it could be simpler if people got out and learned.
Yeah, Rashana Grant has this idea to, and I'm probably not going to express it properly, but it's basically like giving tax breaks, grants, and things like that to more, not necessarily urban farms, but not
Yes.
necessarily rural either. People that have, like here where I live, if we bought this and bought next door, we'd have 3 lots. We have a lot of space. So if I built a small community garden or I had some chickens or whatever, they could support that at least with grants and things to get it going, with education to keep it going, things like that. And then you get property tax breaks for the growing of the food and whatever
Yes.
you're doing in your land. Nothing crazy because we're talking about I'm in the middle of Topeka, but it's I've looked into doing it, right? But it is an expensive endeavor to get into, even if you try to do it as cheaply and as sustainably with reusing things as possible. And it's a lot to learn on your own.
Yeah.
So just supporting things like that with somehow would be
Yeah.
beneficial.
And that's along the lines. We always preach grants and incentives, tax breaks. We give that a lot to big, like you said, urban farms. We're not doing enough for the people on down the road here from Parsons in Altamont, in Thayer, even here in the outskirts of Parsons and Chanute. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the backbone is the small farmers and ranchers from generations ago. So I don't like that we're taking it out of their hands.
I think that it's because a lot of the people in power have a financial gain from these corporate farms coming in and buying them up. So they let the little guy fail so the big guy can win and they get more money.
And that's definitely what it's looking like.
And that kind of thinking and that kind of thing goes all the way down to the city level.
Yes.
And so it's like sometimes they say, I have experience doing this or I have a degree in that. And all that tells me is that you've always been studying how to play the game and planning to do what you're doing right now. And some people see that as a benefit. I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is, I was going to say earlier, the diverse candidates that are diverse. And I don't just mean that have lived diverse lives. I don't necessarily mean race or gender or whatever. They've lived diverse lives. They've lived lives that maybe they're not ordinary people per se, right?
Yeah.
That have lived multiple experiences in life and been through different things that intimately understand things that some people wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Caden, he's an everyday person for everyday people, but I don't know, maybe it's my opinion, but I don't think he's just an everyday person personally. He's always been an extraordinarily helpful, outgoing, kind person. Do you know what I mean? And then you have some candidates that have never been involved with any sort of outreach or trying to help anyone or any of the mutual aids or nonprofits or any of that stuff before, but suddenly a year before or leading up to or after they file, they're suddenly all involved and doing videos and taking photos and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people that have already been advocates, bare minimum, even if they haven't lived the life of the people that have already been involved in their community, like in a way that's not just a government thing, like going to DAB meetings or city council meetings, or like actually doing the work in the community
Yeah.
to advocate and help for people. Because if they're going to do that, then they're already doing it. Let's just send them up there so they can do it for real.
Yeah. And all the things, one thing that will really, I'll keep close to my mind and heart if I do lose this primary, I'm already doing everything I want to do. I'm already doing the civic service I want to do. I just want to do it at a level statewide so I can help people all over Kansas the way I help people in my community.
Are
A
you,
big reason for my nonprofit was to help fill those gaps. I don't feel like the city is pouring into as much as they should, like domestic violence issues, homelessness, even just supporting nonprofits. I wanted to be able to fill those gaps.
yeah, Lee, I had so many thoughts. Where to start? Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't want to have a plan for if they lose because they feel like it's being negative or something. But I see it more of even more of an attribute that you're already planning how you can keep, maybe not building a political career, but use the momentum you have built to keep pushing, right? To keep pushing for the causes that you care that much about. And you've probably made connections now for that purpose and gained experience and knowledge of how the system works. That's very important. I'd
Yeah,
be able to
before I
carry with
started,